Welcome back. Let's talk about the role of traditional institution in stabilizing the polity and national unity. We've been joined in the program by the Amanayabo of Opobo Kingdom, Dandison Douglas Jaja V. Your Royal Highness, thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
So let's begin with your overview of the level of intervention that is required by the institution to be able to bring stability, because if the players, say in the polity, are being extreme in their game, it is institutions like yours that should bring a bit of sanity and stability in this space. And coincidentally, the governor of Rivers State, who is now suspended, is your subject. He's from Opobo Kingdom. Maybe we'll start from there.
Well, the financial institutions have been very supportive of government right from time the inception of this administration. Let's go back to the colonial era. The white man came here and saw that the institution was very well organized, and they were very close to the grassroots. And they used the institution to further their administration. But unfortunately, these days, our governments don't use the traditional rulers, the inherent powers that the traditional rulers have over their subjects. And therefore, they're not properly utilized. So this is the problem of our modern society. Politicians cannot only govern the people, they need the traditional rulers to work with them and make sure that they deliver the dividends of democracy.
Right, so in terms of now, will I say tangible interventions and how well they have been adhered to, and I use the word adhered to because it's expected that our traditional rulers are fathers in that sense. So when they give advice, counsel, it's expected that the younger ones will at least listen to it and show good faith. Would you say that has been effective, particularly looking at what is playing out in the polity? Has that been effective? Is it that, well, is it the mode of communication, or what exactly will be the issue if your interventions have not been as effective as they ought to be?
Yeah. The institution doing their government assignment to take care of their subjects, to make sure that the interests of their subjects are protected, even from outside the aggression. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, the inherent powers of the traditional rulers are not being harnessed. The government is not using the traditional rulers effectively. For instance, in the areas of security, the security of any community or any domain, is under the traditional ruler of that domain, and he knows whoever is in his domain has a way of connecting with the people. This inherent ability or God-given work is not being harnessed by the politician. So there is always this lacuna between policies and what is on the ground. So this is a problem. So we wish that the traditional rulers would be that the inherent powers and then the not giving traditional methods of investigating things can be much more used by governments in power. there should be this regular contact between the governments and the traditional rulers, especially in the areas of unity in the communities, in the areas of peace, in, in the areas of security, and other areas too that are within the purview of traditional rulers.
Your Royal Majesty, some will draw, albeit a strained similarity between what is playing out in Rivers State now to, what happened in history, particularly as it has to do with your kingdom, where the ancient king Jaja of Opobo suffered at the hands of the British colonialists. I wonder what your reflections are when you think about what has played out in River State, and what really has been the role of traditional institutions in providing an intervention to sort of prevent it from getting to the stage where it got to, which is the declaration of a state of emergency. And even while we're here now, is there any role that traditional institutions in River State can play in bringing a definite end to the conflict? So when I say definite end, between the warring political leaders now, even if they're from different ethnic groups?
Before this incident in River State, the traditional institution, that the River State Council of Traditional Rulers, has started reaching out to the parties concerned with a view to forging peace and for them to talk with each other and to resolve whatever problems they had in the interest of the masses of River State. Unfortunately, before we could carry out this function meaningfully, we had this state of emergency clamped on the state. So everybody was thrown off balance. Even as we speak, the institution is still trying to make sure that they continue the peace move. The government should use the traditional institution because we are not politicians. We don't understand the ways of politicians, but our us, they are therefore would listen to us. So I think that we have all it takes to bring about lasting peace in Rivers State if we're given the opportunity to do so.
Your Majesty, so what do you think about the presidency declaring a state of emergency in the state? Do you agree with him, as well as this suspension?
I think I'd rather not speak on this because I'll be speaking out of interest. Ask me questions that I can answer. The president is the president. He has all the facts, security-wise and all. So whatever he does is for the masses, for the people that voted him in to know whether he's right or he's not right, and also to appeal to him to try and rethink and and then let's have the status quo back.
I know you've, sat in a room with the president, with other leaders of Niger Delta, had discussions, varying discussions about, largely oil and some other issues regarding the region. And it's been said time and again how vital the region is to the nation's economy. So it's understandable that the leaders there should have a say in whatever decision is being made that would affect the region. In terms of the kind of counsel or the kind of conversations that has been had with the president, do you think there's an alternative for the president to follow to ensure stability and peace in the region, aside the state of emergency that has been declared and the suspension? Because I imagine that the leaders must have had a conversation with the president. You must have noticed the president's mien. I imagine he was open to suggestions from the leader. So what other options are on the table if you ask him to reconsider?
One of the things that we took to Mr. President, firstly was about the peace in the region, and then how to resolve the River State crisis. And then the South-South development bill or something, which fortunately, and happily, the president has assented to and signed into law. The next thing is that we think that Mr. President, with all his advice, that he would have really allowed us to have time to go and see how we could get peace back to our region, that's why to River State. How be what has happened. We cannot now go crying over spilled milk. But we think that the president can reconsider his position and then listen to the yearnings of the people. The meeting we had yesterday was a meeting of solidarity and also to appreciate the fact that we cannot answer fire for fire if we were looking for peace. And that the best course of action would be for us to get all the parties around the table and discuss how to get peace back to River State. Therefore, we did not go there to discuss anything about violence or anything about how the kind of reprisal or whatever we can do to forcefully get the federal government to get back to what it was before. So it was a solidarity meeting. It was all in the interest of peace and stability of this country. Yes, the region is a region that is imbued with a lot of resources. Does not give us all the rights and benefits that we should have. We need other parts of the country to be part of us, and for us to continue and do whatever it is that will make this country great again.
And earlier, sir, you talked about the need for government to allow the traditional rulers play their role. And the Senate is, in fact, considering a bill that will grant traditional rulers constitutional roles for second reading. But some of the concerns raised is that this constitutional role could conflict with the role of traditional rulers. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, the concern is that traditional rulers are on the payroll of government. They get salaries, allowances, letters of appointment, and in fact are given land by the government. So these two factors, are you concerned that it would impede any meaningful and legitimate role that traditional rulers will play in interventions on many levels in government if these two concerns remain?
Have their God-given roles to play in society. But we do not think that any recognition by the government of our God-given roles would conflict with anything. I think that what we're asking for really is for government to understand, to recognize our role in society and to assist traditional rulers play their role meaningfully. For instance, we're talking about um, the community policing. Community policing, who would be at the head of it? It will be the traditional rulers. It will be the traditional rulers who will, advise the security agencies on how to go about the community policing, which is very, very germane in our society today. If we want to be, maintain security of our communities, and then for government to really play its role to the people.
All right, Your Majesty. So let's look look forward to what the future will look like. The suspension is in effect. I understand that the governors have gone to PDP governors have gone to court. There's an uneasy calm. Everybody's just watching to see what plays out. The National Assembly has done some amendment to include bringing the warring faction together to find a path to peace and all of that. In your view, what do you suggest should be the compromises that should be effected in this case to bring lasting peace? Because the river states that I know, it looks like every 8 years or so, there's always one crisis. There was a war between Rotimi Amechi and his predecessor, Peter Odile. That same incident happened between Amechi himself and Nyesom Wike, and now Nyesom Wike versus Fubara.
That what is playing out is political. But in this whole problem, peace is the answer. There's no other way that you can look at it. The best thing is to bring all the parties together and let them talk with each other and resolve whatever they have caused this problem, so that the people of Rivers State, the ordinary citizens of Rivers State, don't suffer more than they should. Already, there's a lot of disquiet everywhere. There's, some people don't even understand what state of emergency is all about. And therefore, let me also join in calling on Mr. President to please make this burden less. Return the elected officers back to their offices, and maybe in this state of emergency, let's let's life go on, and let there be peace in the state. You know, the state of a war, you cannot progress. So that is my appeal. I'm not appealing as the traditional ruler of the present governor, but as a citizen of Nigeria, as Niger Delta, that's what we want. We're not going to have war against each other. We're people of the same stock. The time for war has passed. This is the time for judgment.
All right, Your Majesty, just totally out of time, but I wanted to find out, have you been able to speak with Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, in the midst of all of this?
I was able to speak with him. I served for 8 years in his administration as chairman, River State Council of Traditional Rulers, which had never happened before. So I thought that we had very good rapport. Unfortunately, he gave me an appointment to come and see him on this, so that we could talk things over and see how it could be resolved. When I went to see him, he was there, not there to see me at all. So that is the effort that we made to see each other. Unfortunately, since then, we've not been able to see.
Your Royal Majesty, Amanayabo of Opobo Kingdom, Dandison Douglas Jaja V. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate it. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll move on to the next part of the conversation. Join us again.